Test, test. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's fucking do it. You want to send us in?
No, I want you to send
You want me to do it? All right, it's going to be my last one for a while, so. Yes, sir. We are live, 129 York Street here in South Melbourne, here at Play Live. You already know what it is. It is day 3, the final day of the main event. We have 14 players left, and we will be playing down to a champion who's going to get over 100 grand for the sweat, plus a Play Live golden spade. Josh Abity here in the booth. You already know, your favorite American, with my partner in crime, Mr. Josh Monk. What's going on, baby?
Josh Abity, how are you, boss? You good?
J Squared in the booth to kick off the final day of the main.
14 players remaining, and some absolute crushers out there in the field. Nelson Dong's out there, Sean Ragazzini, Vincent Wan, a.k.a. Wonky's out there. I mean, some real, like...
Dean Blatt.
Yeah, Dean Blatt's out there. Tam Trung, packet of Tim Tams is
Dan
out there.
Gabriel.
Gee whiz.
It's, I was joking with Jerome, Dan, and Sean, who were all hanging out after they all bagged up for day 3 last night. Or, excuse me, I believe Jerome busted right at the end of the day, not to needle him. But I was saying it's like an old school... It reminds me of when I actually played poker. You know, it's the same old winners.
Yeah, same old winners. Now, everybody here is guaranteed to pick up $6,800 here. It was a $1,500 buy-in into this main event here at Play Live. And you got 365 entries into this event, Joshy. Forget about the 300K guaranteed prize pool, 472,000 some change in the prize pool for this particular event. And like you said before, a 6-figure score for the winner of this event, Josh Abity.
Bigger than my biggest score, so someone is going to take home quite a nice payday. Shout-outs to Kiwi Special in the chat saying, please, reminder to hit the thumbs up button for these guys. I can't express to you guys how much that helps us. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, click like, click subscribe, click follow. Whatever the free option is, we are 50 people away from 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, where we unlock a whole bunch of new features and we become a big boy channel in the eyes of the Google overlords.
As Tam Trung here picks up the ace-5. He came in a bit late too, Tam. I saw him walking in about 3 minutes past the hour. I said, come on, man, we're about to play some cards. He said, mate, the game will wait for me. I said, good on you, Tam.
You think that's a flex? Is that like
Yeah, a bit of a flex, man. He came in with the glasses on. It's actually, you know, overcast outside, but he doesn't care too much about that. Finds the raise with the ace-5, gets it done, picks up the blind. So he
is the chip leader. I was wondering why the ace-5-0 opened, but now that I see the chip stacks, makes a lot of sense. Let's see what kind of stacks we're working with.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of information. So obviously Dean Blatt starting with 725K. Wu Nan is also on this feature table. He's got 3 mil. Nathan Ong has 1.6. Charlie Hu on the outer feature table has 4.7. Yeah, okay, sure. Patrick Vo out there has just short of $1 million at 945 on the outer feature table. Tam obviously has 4.3 million. Nelson Dong has 3.1. And on the outer feature table, we also have Jensen Rojas, who has just short of 800K at 790K. Daniel Gabriel, who found the aces last night against the pocket queens of Nelson Dong and got it done. He's up to 2.8 million. Andrew Freer, who made one of the best folds of all time last night with the ace king. He's got, 1.7 mil, give or take. Vincent Wan Wonky on the outer feature table has just over 3 million, 3.13 mil. Sean Ragazzini with 4.25. And Georgie has 2.8 with Daniel Lee also with 2.2. So they're the final 14 remaining as we get back to the action here. It's been raised by Tam Trung with the natural King 9 of hearts under the gun. It's been called by George Yang with King Jack off, and the action back round to Nelson Dong, who yesterday, Joshy, had 5.7 million chips and had about 16% of the chips in play.
That was like 4 blind levels ago, right? That's insane.
I think he had like 165
I like this
big blinds or
3-bet.
something like that. Yeah, me too, to 450.
Now, it is a little awkward because Tam is the chip leader. He's the one person that covers you. But he does cover George and everyone behind. And Tam, of course, is going to be opening a super wide range. Does actually have quite a playable holding here. But I think ace 10 of spades, very nice 3-bet here from Nelson. Bit of a weird spot for Tam Trong. You're going to end up monkey in the middle if you do just call.
Yep.
King 9 suited can be a candidate to turn into a 4-bet at some frequency. If you think your opponents are 3-betting light, a little bit too weak to want to go into the call range potentially, and that can often be kind of the core logic of what makes a good 4-bet bluff. Decent blocker property, and then, you know, King 10 suited, obviously he's going to want to continue with a call, so sometimes can turn the King 9 into some aggressive action, but does just wave the white flag. Very nice 3-bet to start the day from Nelson.
And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with today, Nelson Dong. He knows how to take down big pots, also knows how to take down big events. So this is the biggest event they have at Play Live. This is the main event, day 3. We just got the action started about 8 minutes ago, roughly speaking. This is hand number 2 of this feature table. $1,500 buy-in, like I said, $472,580 in the prize pool, and $106,180 for first here, so a 6-figure score. Obviously discounting any deal making made, but we'll bring you that information when it comes to hand, if they choose to do that. I doubt it with this particular field. I would imagine they're all going to be playing for all the chockies, I'd imagine,
I
Jockey.
was just thinking that as well. This does not seem like a deal-making field. This is a bunch of people that are all pretty sure they're the best player here. So
Steve coming in the chat saying, how did Nelson lose all those chips on last night's feed? He found the pocket queens. He raised it up, made it 100K to go. And Daniel, who was the other Daniel that was in it? Daniel, wasn't Daniel Lee, the other Daniel. Let me see if I can just quickly find it. Daniel Gabriel found the aces, yeah? And then, believe it or not, Andrew Freer had the ace-king. And Daniel Freer thought about it for about 20 seconds and then pitched it.
it was unreal.
It was absolutely
I have to
unbelievable.
say, it's a remarkable fold.
Yeah, it was a remarkable fold. It had Jackson Young, who I was in the commentary booth last night, in stitches. He was malfunctioning up here in the commentary booth, trying to figure out how he made the fold, but he did fold, and then Nelson made a 4-bet jam with queens, and obviously Gabriel snapped it off with aces. Daniel Gabriel, for that matter.
Shout outs to Dean in the chat, getting him through his bottle O shift.
And that's what got him up to... Well, that's how Nelson lost a few chips to his stack, as Tam Trung
Now, here's an interesting one.
selected to call the race.
Look at this in the YouTube chat from Derry B. Can we get another competition with the chat? Winner gets a one-on-one date with Josh. Which one?
Hopefully you, man.
Well, neither of us is single, so that's already comes with some challenges.
Yeah.
But for the content, I could see myself being let off the hook.
See what we can do, as there's a bit of a lull in chat from Kiwi Special for that comment coming in from Derry B. Goose is in there.
Both Joshes. Okay, so we're going for like a third wheel
Right, okay.
type of situation. Bit of a thruple.
And have a look at that. Goose is in there saying you have definitely found your calling monkey. You're Nick Schulman, the GOATs. I appreciate that, Goose. You're a legend.
I do want to give you a shout out. You absolutely deserve it. And, you know, when we first started this commentary thing, I had to be in the booth every single day during Melbourne Millions because I didn't know who had a knack for commentary. Obviously, I have to keep an eye on the place, run the tech and everything. And now I feel like it's really hands off for me between you and Berkey and Jackson.
Yeah.
Nick and Jet and Lucas and
Nick Mooney, who actually won last night. I don't know if you know the Berserker giveaway. I gave away a Berserker ticket last night, and Nick Mooney, who was in there, thanks brah, in the YouTube chat, actually won it at complete random. And he's also part of the commentary team here. I know that most people at home were thinking there's some sort of rigged thing. It was absolutely at random. I did put my finger on just a random winner, and believe it or not, it was Nick Mooney who took that down, thanks brah, yesterday for the $400 Berserker ticket. I'll be giving another one away today, believe it or not, Joshy. And if we can get over 1,000 viewers, maybe you might be able to throw one in yourself.
absolutely.
There we go.
If we can get 1K viewers across the 3 platforms, you better believe we'll chuck one.
What about
in.
1K subscribers on YouTube? Can we get there too?
1K subscribers on YouTube? I expect to get there this stream no matter what.
Okay.
If we don't get to 1K subscribers on YouTube,
Brad Goodman coming in too,
I might cry.
saying, loving the commentary from Numia boys, watching when I can. I know that his girlfriend Annie made a score in Umea in her first big poker tournament.
How cool is that for her?
Yeah,
huh?
awesome for her.
Good morning from Damien. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, morning for poker players. It is in the afternoon, but it is definitely morning for the poker players.
1:30. Good old bright and early. Time to make my oats for breakfast.
So Nelson here found the raise to 120 under the gun with the king 5 of clubs. George has elected to call from the big blind. Off to the flop we go. Queen Jack versus the king 5 of clubs. If you've got any questions, concerns, queries, feedback, Josh Abity, one of the owners here at Play Live, is in the booth alongside me, Josh Monk, aka Monkey. So you can get all the information from Josh. He's going to be in here most of the day. He might be ducking out a bit later on this afternoon as the flop comes down. Ace, ace, jack. George out with the lead at the moment after out-flopping Nelson Dong.
Do
He's
expect
Queen Jack.
to see a c-bet here. Even king 5 of clubs, not the suited king X you're hoping for on this rainbow board with no clubs, but nonetheless on the double ace high board do expect to see a c-bet, and George with the 2 pairs not going anywhere. Don't think there's much to do other than just call. Not much sense in raising.
He does call. And off to the turn we go. Brings in the 3 of diamonds. Absolutely no help to Nelson, who's now drawing it only the king. 3 outs, top right-hand corner. No kings have been eliminated in this hand, so he needs to find a king at the river to take this one away from George.
Is there a fun Australian word for a brick? Electricians are sparkies, and, you get all these nicknames. What's a bricklayer? Because that's a brick if I've ever seen one, the 3 of diamonds.
Bricklayer. Don't know. You're going to have to put me in the tank there. I might have to throw out a time button and give you an answer on that shortly as Nelson goes for another barrel on the turn.
Taking an ultra-aggressive approach here. Does make some sense. Covers his opponent, so has the opportunity to
there you go. In the chat, bricky. Just a straight bricky. So forget about bricklayer, just a bricky.
The bricky, yeah.
That will work. We do that in Australia. We like to abbreviate basically every single word, Josh. I know you're from the States.
This is the cutest version of English. I've told this to Bridges many times. He does not appreciate it, but it is the truth. Australian English is the cutest English in the world.
And George is going to come around with a call, and he finds the king. Oh, my God. Nelson Dong starting off with a big king on the river to take this one away from George. Finds the king of spades at the river, making aces and kings, using the jack as the kicker. And George, who's made 2 very good calls on the flop and on the turn, unfortunately for him, gets outdrawn at the river as Nelson Dong finds the king and knows that he's almost certainly going to be in front here. 14 players remaining out of 365 entries. Nelson Dong. And wow, he's going to check it back just in case George does have an ace in his hand, which he doesn't. Nelson's going to show him the king 5. Nelson's going to be, George is going to be a little bit tilted there. He did make a very good call on the flop, good call on the turn. But the king of spades at the river helps Nelson get the win, and the check mark next to his name as he collects a pretty decent sized pot there, an extra 620K in chips going to his chip stack, up to 73 big blinds now, 4.4 million, Josh.
Now, if it was level 1, level 2 early in the tournament, there is a world where sometimes Nelson bets that river, and it's basically a value bet that targets Jack X and also tries to get hands like King Jack and King 10 and King Queen that made it to the river to fold off a chop. Well, not King Queen, the kicker will play, but King 10, King Jack type hands. But I think this deep in the tournament, when you river second pair and you have showdown value, locking up the actual win, there I go on my 20-minute delay. That's pretty. That's
well, that proves to everybody at home we are on a 20-minute delay. That was Josh Abity just walking into Play Live.
That tripped me out. I don't think I even realized the stream was running. But yeah, you can basically when you're King Jack is not a boat. That is 3 pair. Ace Ace, Jack Jack, King King. 3 pair does not play.
Round to Daniel Lee. Finds the 9-4, puts that in the bin. Dean Blatt with the 9-3. That goes in the bin too. Round to Nathan Ong.
Quick note for production. It is not Dan Blatt. It is Dean Blatt. So go ahead and chuck an E in his name when you get a moment.
Good shout there from Josh Abity.
No disrespecting my boy.
Round to Tam Trung. Finds the ace-3 off in position on the button. He's going to raise it up, make it 125K to go. And nobody can continue. Nelson Dong finding the 5 deuce off.
I do like seeing both Tam and Nelson understanding their role as the chip leader here in these final 2 tables, kind of putting on the maximum pressure. I do think we'll see a lot of that tonight. And there will be some interesting moments for the middling stacks where there's that transitionary period when we get down to 12, 11, 10 players, where it becomes shorthanded before it condenses to a final table. And that's one of the worst spots for the middling stacks, because going back to full ring lets them take their time and wait for good spots. But five-handed, the cost of the blinds and antes, the M value, as we like to say, which is the cost of one full orbit, 2.5 bigs essentially, big blind, small blind, the big blind ante. It's hitting twice as often, right? And that can be really brutal. But for the big stacks, that's a prime opportunity. Right now, even 7-handed, right? As opposed to, we know that later in the day, we're going to be 9-handed.
Yeah, good shout there from Josh. There has been a question being asked, if they win the ticket into the Berserker this evening, what happens if they can't make the event? I'll honour the value of the ticket and be able to get that to you some way or another. I did, on an earlier stream, do a pay ID for somebody who won the main event ticket for $200, the hospitality package for the main event, who was, I think the winner was like in Queensland and couldn't make it down. So I was more than happy to honour that agreement. So I'll do the same if you happen to win that $400 Berserker ticket tonight and cannot make it to Play Live.
What a gentleman.
So there's the answer for Daryl in the chat on YouTube. We are live on a 20-minute delay on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitch. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the Play Live pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We appreciate all the subscriptions and likes and follows, and click that little alarm button too. That'll keep you abreast of all the updates here at Play Live as it's Ace Deuce versus Ace 8.
Oh, how about that flop?
As George made the raise and Wu came in there with the Ace Deuce, who's now outflopped George Yang.
This is a terrible spot if you're George. I mean, on the ace high board with the 2 low cards, you are going to be very confident in going for at least 2 streets of value with your hand.
So Georgie's going to bet out 80K on this flop, thinking his ace 8, the natural 9 for those back row players at home, is good, but he's up against 2 pair of Wu Nan. Did call him in the big blind after George raised on the button. Finds the 2 pair, very disguised 2 pair on this particular board. And here comes the turn down and dirty. Brings in the 10 of hearts. No help to George, who's still miles out in front at the moment.
Especially on the double flush draw board with no flush cards at all. George is going to be loving life here and feel extra incentivized to size up to charge the draws, because Wu's going to have so many draws here. But as we do know, Wu flopping the goods. George is behind with his value hand. These are the tricky spots deep in the tournament. I do expect to see a second barrel here from George pretty much always. And if I'm Wu Nan on the double flush draw board, when my opponents bet twice on the ace high board, this is when I want to start check raising, getting the maximum value out of my hand, see if I can stack the poor bastard.
As George makes a bet for 200K, it's always good to have Josh Abity here in the booth, because he can do basically what he wants in the commentary here. I usually try to keep it a bit more PG,
clean,
but
yeah.
When Josh is in here, we can up the audience to MA 15+.
Whenever we onboard a new person to come into the booth, I always have them start with me briefly. And I say, as long as your language isn't worse than mine, we're all good. No F-bombs, nothing too crazy, but
there you go.
as long as you're around my level or better, we're happy with that. And he does find a raise of some sort.
Kane coming in there saying, "What's up? How are you, Kane? Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on Monday, the 16th of March. This is day 3 of the main event, Joshy. And he has put in that raise like you anticipated he would with the 2 pairs.
And again, with no flush blockers, this is like an ideal combo of top pair for George to continue with, especially in position. So this is where it starts to get expensive for him. Quick answering Brad in the chat here. Is the Berserker a deuce to 7 triple draw game? No, it is not. It is no limit Texas hold on to him.
Yeah, Texas, hold on to him. I like it. It's a $400 buy-in, 330 plus 70. It kicks off today at 6 p.m. for those people who want to play the Berserker.
And that's the last tournament of the series.
Yep.
If you want a series saver, that tends to be the one.
50K starting stack, 15-minute levels up until the end of registration, then 20-minute levels thereafter. 25K guaranteed in the Berserker. That's today at 6 p.m. But if you want to come in a little bit early at 3 o'clock, day 2 of the deep freeze, you can buy into that today, Joshy. Day 2 of the deep freeze. It's an 1150 buy-in, 200K starting stack, 40-minute levels, and 75K guaranteed in that event. So if you've got nothing to do on a Monday, or you want to duck out of work a little bit earlier, come in at 3 o'clock to play the deep freeze, or at 6 p.m. after work, you can come in and play the Berserker.
Quick correction, because that poster's wrong. Wow. Is that a fold from George? Wow, a spectacular fold from George Yang. When he gets a chance to check out the stream later in the day, he's going to be thrilled to see that he was correct there. Might have a read on his opponent, because that, I mean, he can have so many natural bluffs, but maybe just thinks his opponent's not capable.
Right. And you said there was going to be a little correction, just in case I got that incorrect.
It's a 50K guarantee. That exact old version of the poster is outdated. I will say...
A 50K guarantee on the Berserker?
No, on the Deep Freeze.
On the Deep Freeze, pardon me.
25K on the Berserker. But there's already 56 runners in the Deep Freeze, so the guarantee is already exceeded.
Oh,
so
right.
75, I think, is actually probably unders. But I do want to be precise. But yeah, and I think the max late reg in the Deep Freeze, you still get quite a few big blinds, right? Because it's 200K starting.
Yeah.
So I know at least 10 people that have told me that they're planning on max late reg in that one and then firing the Berserker if they brick out.
Maybe if the studio downstairs can find out how many bigs they start with in that Deep Freeze and what time late registration finishes in that particular event, for those people who might be ducking out of work early to come down here to 129 York Street, South Melbourne, the PlayLive headquarters, to play that Deep Freeze event. If not, come in and play the Berserker. That's again on this evening at 6 p.m. $400 buy-in.
Woo reminds me of L from Hustler Casino Live. You ever watch the Hustler stream?
Yeah,
L, he really does kind of have the vibe. It's the shades. It's the shades and the haircut. They're kind of matching. And apparently we're getting the chat a little bit aroused here, Monkey.
Fair enough.
Double entendre with the brick references from earlier.
As there's a raise from Tam Trung. He likes playing the naturals because he does play a bit of baccarat, so you're going to see a few raises from Tam. He's already done one earlier with the King 9 suited in the hearts. He finds the Queen 9 here, raises it up and makes it 125K to go in the hijack. Round to Daniel Lee. With the King 7 of diamonds, heavily dominated, but he is in the big blind, and I'd imagine he's going to flipping in a call here most of the time. And he does. So it's King 7 versus the Queen 9. Daniel out with the lead at the moment, like I said, as the flop comes down.
9 in the window, but it's a diamond. Oh, how about this flop?
Couple of diamonds too. So Daniel's got the overcard plus the flush draw plus a straight draw to go with his hand, and Tam's picked up second best pair with a gut shot to a straight. Daniel with 15 outs, top right-hand corner. And Daniel actually a 64% chance of winning this hand, despite the fact that he hasn't actually made a hand yet. He's only got king high, but he does have a massive draw. Straight and a flush draw.
The old Maine to Spain draw. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Old school PLO term.
I have. Tam Trung's going to bet out 100K on this flop. Needs to find an offsuit jack on the turn or just a couple of bricks to hold in this hand, because Daniel's got a plethora of outs, as you can see, top right-hand corner of your screen. Max outs, 15 outs essentially. And here comes Daniel. He looks like he's going to be putting in a raise, which he does. Looks like he's raised up and made it 270K. Is that correct?
That's
260?
260, yeah.
So action back on Tam Trung.
This is just a gross spot.
Yeah, pretty ugly for Tam.
Middle pair, overcard in a gutter on a super connected board. I mean, it's not fun. You can call, you can wave the white flag. I think both are reasonable, but no matter what, not loving life. And I do like the immediate check raise from Daniel Lee. I do think that's kind of the way to go when you have this much equity, because if you get jammed on or re-raised, you can just get it in and see if it's your day.
Mm-hmm. Good shout from Josh Abity there in the chat. Special comments coming from one of the co-owners here at PlayLive. And to be honest with you, Josh, you've put on another outstanding Grand Prix Series here at PlayLive, just following up from the Melbourne Millions. So shout out to the boys downstairs and your team putting on another outstanding series here at PlayLive. If you like tournament poker, this is the place to come and play. And maybe we might be able to talk a little bit about the birthday series coming up. I know that there's a 1-year anniversary coming up relatively soon for PlayLive, and maybe you can talk to the viewers at home a little bit about that, when they can come in and potentially play in some of those events.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're turning 1 on April 22nd. So we're going to do something special. We are still kind of finalizing exactly.
Have a look at this from Tam. Sorry, don't mean to cut you off. He's put in the 3-bet.
Clicks it back
to 750K. And Daniel's going to look down at his King 7 of diamonds. And
I mean,
make a decision on what he wants to do here with a plethora of outs, like you can see, top right-hand side of your screen. You can see all of those outs, 15 clean ones.
do you think it's the path of the triangle for him? He's going to use the all-in button.
I think it's going to be very hard for him to get away from this hand. So I'd imagine the triangle will come out. I can't imagine him putting in a 4-bet. I think the 4-bet will be a 4-bet jam only.
Dean Blatt just staring him down. 10 bigs, not in the hand, but just laser focus. Gotta love that from the top players.
Kane saying, what if you don't like tournament poker? Well, if you don't like playing tournament poker, probably not the place to be, but there's plenty of other games around town if you like to play cash games. Or even better, run up a big stack in a cash game and bring it straight down here to Play Live at 129 York Street, South Melbourne, and maybe give yourself a chance at winning $100,000 in the main event, the next series that they have on. Or even better, hold off until the Melbourne Millions next year. And the prize pool in that was absolutely outrageous. Did you get up to $1 million in the prize pool for the main?
We did.
Yeah,
I had to do a shoey.
Yeah, I remember.
Because of that. I do think my staff respect me more now. I do feel quite a bit more Australian, so.
And Daniel's electing to call here. So, okay. A bit interesting. I thought he might put the jam in and realise his equity right now, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't love this call. I think better to just go for it.
Talk about finding one of the 15 outs. There's a king of clubs on the turn.
And I think this actually is a prime example of why I prefer a jam, because your hand is in the lead now, but it's very hard for you to know that. If you just realize all your equity, put it all in, then you get to realize this out cleanly. Now this out becomes a bit of a dirty out where he's going to be really unsure if he's in the lead or not. But I don't think he'll ever be folding with this much equity. Top pair, open-ended, and the second nut flush draw.
A couple of good questions coming in. Maybe for you, Josh, because you're part of the management team there, from Vlad and Isha.
How do you figure out what the guarantees are going to be for each event? Very carefully is the short answer to that. I mean, that's an extremely complicated question. That's like saying, how do you figure out what the price of the iPhone is going to be before you launch it?
Yeah, sure.
You have lots and lots of meetings. You look at historical data. You estimate how many players you think are going to come through. You think about what financial risk is reasonable for the business. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. But, we have run quite a few series in the past 10 months, so have some more information to go on. When you first start, you just pick numbers and pray that people show.
As the option is on Daniel here, first to act from the big blind, who did find the king on the turn. It looks like he's just going to jam it all in. After finding the king on the turn, makes Tam's hand shrivel up quite significantly. He now has third best pair with that gut shot to make the straight. In a bit of a world of hurt, he's only got 5 outs to take this one away from Daniel. As you can see.
Let's just jam it here on the turn, so kind of the same result had he jammed on the flop. I don't think Tam Trung was calling the flop jam, and I don't think he'll be calling here, so the hand is going to kind of go the standard way. Are getting confirmation from production. It'll be 25 bigs for the max late reg and the deep freeze, 200K start, and the max late reg is after 4K, 8K. So still plenty of playability there.
The studio wouldn't mind letting us know what time max late reg is local time here. We can give that information to the players who might be coming down to max late reg that event. I'm imagining it's probably somewhere around 4:30, 5 o'clock. But I'll get some confirmation from the studio downstairs as Tam Trung here, double-coated Tim Tam. He's absolutely made of Teflon, this bloke.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, looking at potentially finding a call here with the third best pair with that gut shot to go along with it. He's looking at a call of 1.2 million, give or take, and a few changes. Bit of change, I should say, as Lord Agar comes back into the chat on YouTube. So welcome back, Lord.
We do have a question about the chip denominations. So the blue chips, the periwinkles, are 5K. The oranges are 25K, and the green chips are 100K. So stack of orange is 500K. Stack of green, if anyone's lucky enough to have one, be a full 2 mil. The blue chips are the ones that you play with in your hand. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. If you are just joining us, Josh Abity, one of the owners here at Play Live, with our legendary perennial host, Mr. Josh Monk, J Squared in the booth. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We are so close. And when we do that, we'll unlock a whole bunch of fun new features. After this series, we'll be adding things like channel points, where people can bet channel points on the outcomes of stuff. Hopefully going to add those to Twitch as well. So we'll start to have even more fun interactivity. The platforms do really reward streams that grow, and they grow by you showing your support and being here, watching it, and clicking all the Magic Digital buttons. So it's a little dopamine feedback for you, and it helps us in a big way. It's free 99, the greatest price in the world.
I love that phrase, by the way. I'm going to keep using it. Right? Free 99, yeah. Fantastic.
That is an old school New York millennial, kind of era.
Now, talking about free 99, what about Octopipoker.ai/PlayLive? That is an AI-generated tool to help you with no limit hold'em. If you use that promotional code PLAYLIVE, that's Octopipoker.ai/PlayLive, you'll get a free month subscription to that. You don't have no credit card, no nothing.
Nothing. You literally just go to that landing page, you make an account, and you have a free month. And it's not just a month of their base level, it's the full pro access. I think the special thing that really sets Octopi apart, one of the special things that sets it apart from all the other kind of standard solvers of the world, is one, it's way more user-friendly, way more just kind of approachable if you're a normal person who's maybe not familiar with the solvers. And number two, we have the vault, so you can see PlayLive live stream content and review hands there.
And we have been told from the studio downstairs, max late reg for that deep freeze should be about 6 p.m. if we stay on schedule there. So it gives you plenty of time to be able to max late reg in there with 12 bigs.
The video is frozen. Just working that out with production. Apologies, guys. Some of the camera's been acting up. The table mic as well, though that one seems to be working fine today.
Yeah, we got the table mic working, and now all of a sudden the cameras
are trolling. Yeah,
you almost can't make it up. How would that free subscription help me beat Monkey playing blind? The Octopi Poker can't even calculate how I like to play poker, Liam. So drawing dead there. If you're using that software to try and figure out how I play the game, I just play for a bit of fun. Find the 8-5 offsuit under the gun, jam it all in, blind, no look. Somebody calls with the ace-queen, forget about it, 8 on the flop, and I ran out quite pure. And then the following hand found the Nintendo 64, 6-4 of diamonds. This was in the Nightcrawler a few nights ago. And believe it or not, made a call, no look in the big blind, flopped a full house and got three-way action. And all of a sudden I was up to 200K in chips, but couldn't even make it to day two, even though I had, I think, 4th in chips going into day three. If I decided, day two, I should say, if I decided just to fold the rest of the evening, but gave my chips away. Pretty poor fashion, to be fair. And somebody else took down that Nightcrawler, hopefully using some of my chips too, as we do have, like Josh has alluded to, a frozen stream at the moment. We are working with that downstairs. In terms of the game for the giveaway for the Berserker ticket this evening, Josh, I think we might do the 2 truths, 1 lie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
A classic.
Yeah. 2 truths, 1 lie, and we'll give you guys ample opportunity to be able to win that Berserker ticket.
We do have Seth
working on deactivating and reactivating the Poker GFX.
See if we can get that video back up and running for you guys.
Tool.
So apologies there. We are working on it, but hanging out with me and Monkey in the meanwhile. Many people would pay for the privilege.
We still have 14 players in the field. Now, I can tell you who those 14 players are, for those people who are wondering who is remaining in this particular event. I'll bring that information up to you in just a moment. So, obviously, you got these players playing at the feature table, but in the outer feature table, we got Charlie Hu, who's got roughly 4.5 million in chips. We got Patrick Vo, who's just short of $1 million at 945. We have Jason Rojas out there with about 800K to his chip stack. Daniel Gabriel, who found the aces late last night.
2 doubles in a row for Dan Gabriel last night.
Yeah.
Had like 10 bigs, and 30 minutes later had like 60 bigs.
Yeah, absolutely insane. So he's on the outer feature table there with about 2.8 mil. Andrew Freer, who made one of the best folds of all time. If you get a moment to look at last night's stream, scroll to probably the last half an hour and you'll see Queens versus Aces versus the Ace King, and he puts the Ace King in the bin after contemplating for about 20 seconds. It was insane. It put Jackson Young, who was in the commentary booth with me, into a tailspin. He was trying to figure out how the hell he made the fold, but he did and got out of the way. We've also got Vincent Wan Wonky out there on the outer feature table alongside Sean Ragazzini Raggers.
Sean also had 6 big blinds on the bubble.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later had 4 million.
I mean, sometimes you just run pure. And he did say he ran pretty good, but also played pretty good. And, you know, Ragazzini with a stack.
Terrifying.
Is absolutely terrifying. We do apologise for everybody at home. We are working through these technical glitches downstairs in the studio.
I can see Seth grinding his butt off down there, clicking on all kinds of things I don't fully understand.
One of the beautiful parts of working in the commentary upstairs here is we get to kind of see a little bit of what's going on in the background from the guys downstairs in the studio, and he's clicking buttons all over the screen up here to help you bring the footage or the stream to you. So we do apologise for this technical glitch that we are dealing with. Might give us a bit of a golden opportunity to talk a little bit about what's happening today. Like I've made mention before, the Deep Freeze Day 2, you can buy in today. Max late registration goes until approximately 6 p.m. local time here in Melbourne. It's $1,150 buy-in, so $1,000 plus $150 go into that hospitality package. It's a 200K starting stack, 40-minute levels, and 50K guaranteed in the prize pool. But like Josh alluded to earlier, that's probably going to get closer to 75, maybe a bit more, 80, give or take.
In the Deep Freeze, yeah, I think there was 56 runners, and there's still a couple hours of late rego. So, yeah I think 75, 80. Production saying trying one more thing. If that's no good, I do think they're probably going to reset the stream.
Yep, which is the comment coming in from the studio downstairs. So
stick with us, and if we do reset, it'll take all of 2 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
Don't go anywhere. It's going to be insane action today, all the way down to a champion.
So talking about that deep freeze, so that's at 3 o'clock. Max Late Reg will bring you in with, how many bigs was it, Josh?
25.
25 bigs, was it? Right, so 25 bigs,
Plenty,
Max Late
right?
Reg, plenty, heaps. Geez, I might even play that. The 25 bigs, Max Late Reg at approximately 6 p.m. We'll get confirmation from the studio downstairs on that Max Late Reg time for those people who want to play in the Deep Freeze Day 2, kicking off today at 3 p.m. If not, you can also play the Berserker later on this evening, $400 buy-in, 330 plus 70, 50K starting stack, 15-minute blind levels until the end of late registration, then 20-minute blind levels thereafter to see out the conclusion of that event. There's a 25K guarantee in the prize pool for that particular event, in the get-out stakes, as we like to call them, for those people who like to have a bet on the horses.
Get even worse,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's it.
Getting confirmation from Seth here. We are going to restart the stream really quickly. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be right here. We're sitting on the couch, yapping into the mic, so we'll be back in a whopping 2 to 3 minutes.
You always have all the chips, and I'm short stack. You have to call my short stack all in all the time.